Hi and welcome to my playhouse. And today I'm back home in Denmark where it's cold and rainy. Yeah, haven't missed that at all. But, well, that's just for the regular viewers, but for the newbies or someone just found my channel, we're gonna be looking at this Lenovo tiny machine, the 1 liter one. And this one is the, oh, I forgot where they put that. It's the ThinkCentre M75q Gen5. I actually have one of these. I think it's the Generation 2 or even the Generation 1. So I am very curious to see, is there anything different in the Generation 5 or is it just the CPU that they have upgraded? So we're gonna have a look at that. This is actually a PC that I've gotten from my company because I do work from home sometimes, and yeah, I found out that my company gets these for next to nothing compared if I go and purchase one of these myself. So I very kindly asked my boss if I could have one for a home PC thing, and he agreed, mostly because it was on our standard list together with a standard laptop, and me picking 2 standard things made so that it was less than most of my colleagues who get something special. So I managed to get 2 new PC devices. One of them is the laptop that I use at work, which is a T16, and both of them are way faster than what I had. The laptop at work, I think it was 3 times faster the CPU was compared to the one that I got like 5-6 years ago. But let's get into this. Enough rambling, Morten. It's a rather large box for a small PC like that. And here we have the label of what is inside of here. So it's the ThinkCentre M75q Generation 5, and that is an AMD CPU. I forget what CPU is in here, but we will surely figure that out. Yeah, and that was just the shipping label. So yeah, let's open sesame on this. I have a knife, haha. So we're gonna open this. I do believe it has been opened because I think it has been prepared for my company thing. So I might have to remove some stuff so that you don't get too many informations that can be used against me. So let's start with the accessories. That's the PC there. Let's see if it comes with anything meaningful in accessories. It's probably a power supply and a power cable, if I'm not much mistaken. 1 power cable, 1 power brick. Should we just see how many pixies they've put in this? So this power brick is good for 20 volts. 3.25 amps, so 3 amps, 20 volts is that's 60 watts, and then a little bit, so it's 60 something watts, maybe 70, I'm not sure. Okay, maybe it's 65 watts. Idiot one. Then we have the tiniest little manual here, ThinkCentre Generation 5. Then we have another thingy, not sure what that is, warranty, blah blah blah. And we have an antenna. Of course it has Wi-Fi. I didn't think of that, but yeah, Wi-Fi. And that box is empty. So then we have the PC itself. Let's get that out of the packaging. And I can see that someone has been in here. Security. Probably someone has been. I see something on it that we need to tape out. Okay, I have it here. I have taped out. My company puts a security label on top of it, so you can peel that off, and then there's a security number, so if anyone steals this, well, there is an identifier of what and who this belongs to. So I could already see, I'm using this model myself, earlier generation, and I could already see a difference that this one has 2 USB the old ports, but they do say that these are 10 gigabits there, and it has a USB-C, the older version, It still has a headphone connector in the front, which is awesome, and a power on button, and we have a piece of tape here. So nothing on that side. We have a lot of good stuff on the back, including two digital display ports, which I was hoping that it had, and it has. And we have the wireless. Let's just go through the ports. First, it has a cutout. This box is prepared for another antenna here. So like the antenna over here, there is a cutout thing for the antenna as well. Then there is a connector for the power, which is the Lenovo normal old. I don't know if it's old. It seems like they keep using this, so it must be good, or it's just a nice standard for them to have. I'm not complaining. I do like this connector. Then there is the first digital display port. We have a USB port, an HDMI port. Up here is a digital display port right next to this Kensington lock. So this means that you can put one of those locking mechanisms onto the PC and tie it to something else. 3 USB ports of the old model. I would have liked to see a USB-C connector back here. That would have been neat. We have the network connector, and we have the Wi-Fi, and it's probably maybe also some Bluetooth. I don't know if that goes out through this antenna or if the Bluetooth is just located in the front of it. So yeah, nothing special about this. We could see this is a 2024 model, and the type is an 12RR. That really doesn't tell me much. There are so many models of this. The real model number is really the M75 Gen5. So we need a tiny screwdriver to get in here. No, I can't open that. Tiny screwdriver has magically appeared out of the blue. So these tiny machines has just one screw on the back here, and that comes out. I'm a little bit questionable. It doesn't seem like this one has any compartments in the bottom. Like I've seen multiple models where you can take a part of the back out and then there's the RAM and stuff. So I'm very curious to how they've made this. So open sesame. Make sure nothing hangs here. Nothing hangs here. The cover. So there's that. So how have they made this? So we see that the board is all the way to the bottom, and it seems like there is absolutely nothing to put in the so this is rather loose. So that's just sitting there on some rubber. Okay, that's new. So the fan assembly, which is sitting here in the front and blowing directly over the CPU, has become rather complicated. It's a big fan. I don't think I have seen a big fan like this in one of these tiny Lenovo PCs before, but yeah. There's a wire here that goes to what? It goes to an I think it's just an LED, or is that the on button? I think on the that's probably that red thing on the front of the box. They have a tendency to make the little red dot in ThinkCentre light up. So there's a little wire that does that and sends a thing to the front of it. Then over here is the loudspeaker. Oh, it's difficult to see. We need to the loudspeaker, which is probably not that loud, so it's probably more like a silent speaker, but it does have the tiniest little sound device built in to the unit here. I can't see what this is. I think it's an LED that lights up into a mirror and then is projected out that way towards us. So, and the fan itself is powered from this wire here, and so you just flip the fan over and you get access to the memory in here. And this PC, my model here, comes with 16 gigabytes of memory. two 8 GB blocks is located right there, and these are 8 GB DDR5 RAM, and they are 5600 megahertz. So you can kind of see them there on top of each other. So if I don't want to take the CPU out, I know this one is brand new, so it's the original CPU that is in here. So if we go to the back of the computer, we have the serial number here, and I can use Lenovo's own tool for looking up the serial number. This is where you go to find out if the Lenovo machine is under warranty. So I can type the serial number in there, and mine is blah blah blah. It knows that this is a machine that has been delivered to Denmark. We're gonna proceed with United States just because then we're sure everything is in English. So I get the information about the warranty about it. So warranty started in February 2025 and ends in February 2028. Somewhere along the lines, I should be able to figure out what is in this. So if we go to product home, there. So right here, up here, there is a spec info, and if we press the spec info, we get all the stuff that this machine was delivered with. So we have the AMD Ryzen 5 Pro 8500 GE processor in this. We have two 8 GB memory blocks. Apparently it comes with Windows 11, Finnish, Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, English. We have SSD, 512 GB NVMe SSD, network card, Realtek Bluetooth thingy, 1X Realtek Wi-Fi, and there's Bluetooth, and then there's some of the other stuff in here. Nothing. The graphics, AMD Radeon 740M, form factor tiny. So this is very powerful. End of service is 2031. Yeah, that's a bit out into the future. So a very powerful tool to get all the information on your tiny Lenovo machine, and you can do that with older machines as well. Not all of them has this much information. Lenovo also has a whole lot of information about this machine. There's multiple tabs that you can go into. There is the different models, you can see the differences between them, and there are some specs. Oh, do I need to pick specs somewhere? I think there was a spec, technical specifications, and we get all the specs. One thing that I'm kind of disappointed with these tiny Lenovo machines is the fact that the network card is just still 1 gigabit. I know for an office machine 1 gigabit is plenty, but it would be really cool if they up the game and put like a 10 gigabit in here. Best of all, if they would stop using this this form factor and just put in an SFP plus slot. You could just have the SFP slot, and you could put in whatever you wanted, and they could easily supply the SFP plus slot and just a 1 gigabit SFP with it, so you could use 1 gigabit in your Lenovo machine, and you could check it out, and you could put a 10 gigabit in there, and that would be really neat. But yeah, they don't do that. Other stuff, I see that the second digital display port is supplied with an extension here, and Lenovo actually, they have different boards that you can put in here. So I know that for a fact that you can get a USB-C port up here if you want that, or you can get serial connections. I don't know if a parallel connection is available, and I do also believe that there's a secondary network connection available through this slot, that you can get different prints and they will fit in the machine in different ways here. This one just uses one of the serial connection cutout things here. They haven't really made so that this can change. This back plate here is kind of fastened. It goes all the way. It's not really, does not look like they want us to change that at all. So this model does not have any options to put in a PCI Express port over here at all. No connections. It does though have room for 2 NVMe disks. So this one comes with a Lenovo branded one, and this 512 gigabyte, which comes from KIOXIA company, which I have never heard of, but maybe you have. They're almost at the top. That's the storage device that comes with this. There's a lot of ports in the bottom here that does not seem to be used. So at the moment there is not that many CPUs available for this PCs. There is the 8300 and it goes up to the 8700 GE. And what graphics you get with the CPU, well, what graphics you get depends on the CPU. So the 8300 and the 8500 all comes with the Radeon M740. If you pick the 8600, that comes with Radeon M760, and the biggest model, which is the 8700 GE, comes with Radeon M780. I don't know how much difference there is in those different GPUs, but as the CPU becomes faster, the GPU might become faster as well. RAM underneath the fan again, 2 blocks, and Lenovo says that you can put 64 gigabytes of RAM in this, and that means that you would have to put in 2 32 gigabyte RAM blocks to do that. These AMD CPUs, they're really powerful. The previous one, the one that I'm running on now, which is the same model as this, but the generation 2, this is generation 5, and that's the AMD Ryzen 5 Pro 4650 GE, and this one is the AMD Ryzen 5 Pro 8500 GE. So compared to my old one, which CPU benchmarks at about 15,000 something, this one will benchmark at about 21,000 and something. If you pick the very largest CPU that can go in here, which is the AMD Ryzen 5 Pro 8700 GE, that one benchmarks at about 28,000. So from my old system to this one is about the same amount of performance improvement as I would get if I got the very fastest CPU in this one and went from this one to the fastest one. So there is a bit to be gained there. So, but you do pay a lot for the latest and the greatest. So this one is it's not the cheapest, but it's a good value for money CPU. If you want it really cheap, you get the 8300, but the 8500 is where you get a good balance. So this AMD Ryzen 8500 GE is a 3.4 gigahertz. It can turbo boost up to 5 gigahertz. It has 384 kilobytes of level 1 cache. Then it has 6 megabytes of level 2 cache, 16 megabytes of level 3 cache. Not that important. It uses 35 watts. Most of these tiny machines, the CPU uses just around 35 watts. If you later want to upgrade this one, you need to go for the socket. This one is the AM5, whereas my previous one was the AM4 socket. So they have also changed the socket of the AMD. The AMD Ryzen 5 Pro 8500 GE CPU is from the second quarter of 2024, so middle of last year. So it's not that old. It's about a year old by now. I did talk about Bluetooth on this, and I see that there is a little Bluetooth thing in the front here. I am guessing that's the Bluetooth antenna, that little wire that comes here. Here is the This is the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth network card, which is sitting there in one of those small M2 VLAN slots. And so the wire for the Bluetooth goes that way, and the wire for the Wi-Fi, this black one, goes around the back and out through that one. So yeah, there's that little card. You can get different cards to put in here, different specs. There is not much difference anymore. It used to be a lot more important, but nowadays you generally get some good stuff in here for next to no money. So, oh, I forgot to say something important. The CPU. This one is a 6-core CPU, 8700 GE. That is an 8-core CPU. So, well, 6 cores, 12 threads, or 8 cores, 16 threads. So there's that. Also, this USB is a normal 10 gigabit USB. This one is an always power on. If the system has power, there will be power on this USB connection. The back USB connection, this one is also a 10 gigabit USB connection, and these are older ones, USB 2 connections, which is meant, well, there's actually a nice little icon of a keyboard, so slower things can be put in here. Also did a little bit more research on the RAM underneath the fan here, and it seems that this tiny PC can actually both do 48 gigabyte blocks, so you get up to 96 gigabytes of memory, and it can also do 64 gigabyte blocks, so you can have your well, you can make a Proxmox server out of this and have 128 gigabytes of memory in a tiny server like that, which is pretty cool. And it's DDR5 RAM. I think I saw Lenovo claiming that even though it's the RAM is 5600 megahertz, yes, it might only run at 5200 megahertz because of the CPU. So that might be CPU dependent as well. So in this model, you only get the 2 NVMe drives. They have gotten rid of the SATA port, so there is no putting in an SSD in here like the old hard drive format. Even though it would be able to fit there, there is no connection for it. This isn't actually a gaming PC, but with the performance you get out of this AMD Ryzen 5 Pro, you can play good old games on this, and the graphics on it is decent for a machine this big. This is like a corporate PC. This is the PCs that companies like to buy because they are small and they are easy to replace. There isn't too much hassle around them. This is very serviceable. You just take the cover off, you replace whatever you want, and Lenovo supplies this PC, well, at least here in Denmark, with 3 years on-site service. So if anything goes wrong with your tiny little PC, well, let's just say I'm gonna be using this for my work from home PC. So if something goes wrong with my work from home PC, I will have a Lenovo technician come to my home, replace whatever is done, and the company don't have to worry about it. It's all paid for in when I purchased the machine, right? So awesome. But beside office and work use, well, it's also just when you become older and lazy and don't want to put together your own PC anymore. And I'm not a gamer, so I don't game very much. This is plenty. My use case for a PC is covered by this tiny machine and then some. So yeah, I have been using Lenovo tiny machines for many years, and they come highly recommended. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.